Hello, welcome to this segment of Fearless Aging. And the title of this episode is Essiac Tea, the anti-aging elixir you don't want to skip. I like that, anti-aging elixir. And our expert guest, his name is Brian Paulus. He's the
Yes,
co-owner of Genuine Essiac, a company based in Massachusetts that
correct.
specializes in providing authentic Essiac tea. He has been involved with Essiac Tea since 1986, and along with his wife Gina, they have taken their business online in 2005. So their mission is to offer organic Essiac tea at affordable prices and continuing the work of Renee Cassi and Dr. Charles Brush. So Brian Paulus, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I think this is a great topic, and I know I've known about this tea for a really long time, and I've heard of so many great benefits. So I'm really interested in learning more about it, and our audience, I'm sure our audience is learning all about it too. So just real briefly, tell us how you first got involved.
Just total happenstance. We had a family member who had passed away. Another family member found out about this after that person had passed away through an acquaintance. And when we found out about this, we told other acquaintances of ours that this existed and where to get it. And they ended up getting this herbal mixture, and they had cancer, primarily for cancer, but it's got so many more benefits
Hmm.
than cancer. But these people each went into remission. That started a massive demand in the area. The demand eventually became a cancer support group, which eventually became a local TV show in New Hampshire. And the demand became so great that I was solicited to work with President Kennedy's personal physician, who did research on this for 8 years in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I was solicited to really fulfill that dramatic increase in need because I was young and strong enough to do the big bulk herbs that had to be moved around. So I thought I'd have a good job for the summer, and that was 40 years ago, and we're still doing it.
Wow, that's so good. That's a great
Yeah.
story. So I'm real curious. The original developers of this formula, I mean, how did they discover all this combination of herbs would have so many health benefits?
There was a nurse that was doing her rounds in Canada who ran across a patient who had a lesion on her breast, asked what it was, and it turns out that was the aftermath of having had a breast cancer uh, tumor that had been treated with medicinal herbs by an Ojibwe Indian medicine man. So she just basically found that to be fascinating, wrote down what was originally a four herb formula, put it in the drawer, and didn't think much about it until 2 years later. Her aunt developed cancer. She tried this herbal combination, and that worked successfully, which started a clinic in Canada ran for several decades, and then it was brought up for a vote. It was so popular, and the Canadian government brought it up for a vote as a means of treatment. It failed by 3 votes, at which point this nurse had nowhere to go with this in Canada, was invited down right near us to Cambridge, Massachusetts, to President Kennedy's physicians, local research center. And so they worked together with this nurse to really establish what the four herb formula did. And then a team of 18 physicians continued this research to find out other potential herbs that could help or be of assistance. When one showed help, they would add it to the formula and then add another one, cater and tweak till they found the perfect balance after 8 years. That's what we have here is the byproduct of the 8 years of research. It is by far as Essiac tea goes, the most advanced version. And it's the reason we offer a money back guarantee after usage for 6 months, because we don't want to be like predators that give you something that doesn't work. This actually does what we say it does, and we are accountable to that. In spite of the significant needs we're addressing, we are still accountable to that. And we've done that for over 20 years.
Wow, yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, tell us, have you had tell us about your personal experience with taking the tea.
Well, I really haven't had a significant need other than when you're younger and you feel like you're bulletproof. I'm now 60. But when I was younger, I felt no need to address it because I was hanging on the beach. I was healthy, whatever. I tried, I dabbled, but then my PSA started to creep up.
Mm,
And I saw my urologist, and I said, it's going to sound crazy, but I've got this stuff that can really help. And my blood work was out of whack. I had blood
mm,
work that they had me seeing a specialist for that as well. Again, I asked for 6 months, and I took this, and my PSA went down to one. From a range in which they thought I had cancer, and same with the blood work that I potentially may have a blood cancer, and that went all down to normal levels. And so then I got smart. I realized I'm not bulletproof. I need to do something to address aging and
mhm.
all the issues associated with that. And I've been doing it ever since, and
Well,
I haven't had an issue.
well, I would say it's been working because you certainly don't look 60. You look more like late 40s or maybe
Yeah,
maybe 50.
yeah.
Yes. So, oh, I think it's
Yeah.
working for you. Yeah, it sounds
Well,
really
there's a
good.
reason for that. It actually does do just that. It helps with DNA damage. We're actually our most recent round of research is one in which we presented in Santiago, Chile, DNA repair studies done on humans, in which everyone in this study had between 33 to 50% reduction in their DNA damage.
Mm,
So it actually repairs DNA. I mean, I sound crazy talking about this, but it's actually taken people's bald spots, had it grow back. It grows back its original color, no longer gray. Um, and I know it sounds crazy, but these are the stories that we've had with this. And so when we had this DNA research that we went into recently, we had a pretty good idea that we're going to see something good. We just got the specific levels of DNA repair with this. So it's unlike anything else as far as reparations to the body over years.
yeah, well, okay. First of all, I'm getting a little bald spot back here, so I'm definitely going to try it out for sure. But I know there's been documented many different benefits. It improves your immune system.
Right.
It's detoxing. Yeah, talk about all these different things. It's helped people with diabetes, high blood pressure,
Well,
inflammation, all these things.
here's the thing. What this does is so uniquely different. A lot of things are claiming to be detoxes, but what they do is they take the bulk amount of loose available waste in the intestinal tract, and they get rid of it. So it's self-evident. Use the bathroom more often. You think you've completed the process, but this is not going to have benefit until it gets completed. Basically your intestinal wall needs to be 100% cleaned off, not 90%, because whether it's a millimeter or 3/4 of an inch of waste on your intestinal wall, it's still compromising digestive function, nutrition, and everything else. And of course, toxins in your body really age you. So what this does is it's a sustainable. It's not the easiest thing because you do it 3 times a day, but it's a moderate 3 times a day exchange in order to do it. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Well, this is cleaning by 1,000 washes. And what this does over the course of about 4.5 to 6 months, gets a pristine intestinal tract where it cleans it all the way off, because the last layer of your intestinal tract is very resistant. It's almost like the last layer of a pan when you burn eggs. You
Mm,
can get the scrambled eggs out, but the last layer you got to soak it, get the
yeah.
steel wool. That's where the cleaning takes represents a small amount but a large time frame. So you do this, it gets it to completion. So now what you're finding is all of the things that were flowing into the bloodstream via the intestinal walls are completely non-existent. So
Um,
the lack of inflow of toxins into your bloodstream combined with your production of new blood means a clean bloodstream. In a clean bloodstream, your body's designed to preserve life in a clean bloodstream, but we're so overly toxic
mhm,
that we aren't even aware of the possibility to heal from illness or to function better with the organs. So, say you clean out the bloodstream and your pancreas is not functioning because it's basically cluttered with debris. As you clean your blood, your function, your liver, both of which have a significant amount of effect on your overall blood sugar levels. They both
mhm,
work in tandem. You
mhm.
clean them, you start to see blood sugar go down. You start to see energy levels because of efficient absorption of nutrients go up. So these are the struggles as you get older, developing diabetes, sluggishness. These can get reverse DNA damage, all of which, if you clean out the intestinal walls, start to say, hey, oh my God, I have energy to face the challenges of my life versus spiraling to the couch. And it's just a byproduct of cleansing and letting the body do what it's designed to do.
Wow, that's well said, Brian. So what I'm hearing, it's really detoxing at the cellular level. Is that right?
Yeah, the intestinal level allows for all of the cellular interactions to take place uncompromised. You'll find, for example, there are, if you have a tumor, tumors have protective layers which are basically assisted in the byproduct of the toxins that land on a tumor. It creates a microenvironment, which is the very environment that the defense cells of a tumor the tumors live in.
Mhm.
So if you can clean up the blood, the outside toxic layer, which encases like an eggshell, it dissipates over time. And as it dissipates, the defense cells of the tumor die off, so you address cancer more effectively. So it is about letting your body as God designed it to work. People know that their bodies are capable of creating life. We all admit that miracle. We can create life with our bodies. The preservation of life is just miraculous when given the proper opportunity. And this just basically clears the path for clean bloodstream. That's where your immune response lives, in a clean digestive tract, which is where nourishment is taken in. Those two things functioning can do remarkable things to increase energy and take the damage being done and reverse it. And so we were so pleasantly surprised by the latest. It was in 2022, I believe, in October of 2022, we did the last round of research. Now we're looking to hopefully do cancer research, but we had to get through a progression of mice studies to human studies to now. But we keep investing in these studies because we've seen firsthand the likelihood of success is extraordinary. So it's not wasted money, it's confirmation and education for the world for the decades going forward. I didn't initially see that as what my role would be until a doctor, actually, a research scientist got in touch with me in 2018 and said, your role is to pass this on with validation. So what I had no interest in, he kind of spearheaded the research from there.
Wow, that's so good. Well, we're really out of time, Brian, but I want to thank you for that great information and thank you for the work that you're doing. And so also let our audience know that we have a discount code for your first order. We have a good discount for you, so we'll put that code in the show description. So I highly recommend you check out his website and check out all the different benefits
The
of
website, by the way,
EG.
is genuine, which is obviously spelled
Yeah.
GENUINE, Essiac, which is ESSIAC.com,
Yeah, yeah,
genuineessiac.com.
we'll put that in the show description.
Okay.
So thank you very much for being here, Brian, and thanks to all of our audience. So as always, we want to tell you that knowledge without action is useless. So take action on what you learned today and check out the Essiac tea. I think you'll be really glad that you did.